Hey everyone, and welcome back to History with Shahzad. Today we're diving deep into the sands of time to explore one of humanity's most awe-inspiring creations. Picture this, a structure so colossal it held the title of the tallest man-made object for nearly 4,000 years. A monument so precise, its construction continues to baffle engineers even today. Of course, I'm talking about the Great Pyramid of Giza. But have you ever stopped to wonder who this monumental tomb was actually built for? Stick around, because we're about to uncover the story of the pharaoh behind the legend. Let's set the scene. We're in ancient Egypt, during what's known as the Old Kingdom, a period of incredible innovation and power. Specifically, we're in the 4th dynasty, around 2580 to 2560 BC. This was the golden age of pyramid building, and at its heart was a pharaoh named Khufu. You might also know him by his Greek name, Cheops. Khufu wasn't just any ruler. He was a divine king, a living god on earth in the eyes of his people. And a god king needed a tomb fit for eternity, a grand stairway to the heavens, to ensure his soul journey into the afterlife. That's where the Great Pyramid comes in. It wasn't just a building. It was Khufu's ultimate statement of power, his legacy, and his personal vessel for immortality. Located on the Giza Plateau, just outside modern-day Cairo, this pyramid was designed to be the most magnificent tomb the world had ever seen. So, how do you even begin to build something on this scale? The Great Pyramid stands at an original height of about 147 meters, or 481 feet. It's made up of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, with some of the heaviest granite blocks inside the king's chamber weighing up to 80 tons each. And remember, this was all accomplished without the help of cranes, bulldozers, or any of the modern machinery we take for granted. Historians and Egyptologists believe the construction took about 20 years to complete. Imagine that 2 decades of dedicated, relentless work. Who were the masterminds and the workforce behind this colossal project? It wasn't just one person, but a highly organized society. The project was likely overseen by Khufu's vizier, a man named Himu, who was essentially the chief architect and project manager. Under his command was a massive skilled workforce. Now, let's bust a common myth right away. For a long time, people believed the pyramids were built by slaves, toiling under the crack of a whip. However, archaeological discoveries, including the unearthing of a workers' village near the pyramids, have completely changed this perspective. The evidence suggests the builders were skilled Egyptian laborers, not slaves. They were well-fed excavations have found bakeries and evidence of a diet rich in bread, beef, and fish. They received medical care, with skeletons showing healed broken bones. These workers were likely organized into crews or files who took great pride in their work. Some of them even left graffiti on the stones, with team names like the Drunkards of Menkaure or the Friends of Khufu Gang. This was a national project, a source of pride and a form of civil service, possibly during the Nile's annual flood when farming was impossible. It was a testament to incredible human organization and teamwork. So, they had the people, but how did they move those massive stones? The primary material, limestone, was quarried right there on the Giza Plateau. But the finer, white Tura limestone used for the outer casing, which would have made the pyramid gleam in the sun, was brought from across the Nile, and the heavy granite for the inner chambers, that came all the way from Aswan, over 800 kilometers to the south. Transporting these stones was a logistical masterpiece. It's believed they used wooden sleds, which they pulled over sand. A famous tomb painting shows a man pouring water on the sand in front of a sled, which we now know reduces friction and makes it much easier to drag heavy objects. Once at the site, the real challenge began, lifting the blocks into place. The most widely accepted theory is that they used massive ramps. Whether it was a single, long, straight ramp, a spiral ramp that wrapped around the pyramid, or a combination of internal and external ramps, is still a subject of intense debate among experts. Each theory has its pros and cons, but what's clear is that it required an extraordinary understanding of physics and engineering. And the precision is just mind-boggling. The base of the Great Pyramid is an almost perfect square, with the sides aligned almost exactly with the four cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west. The margin of error is incredibly small. How did they achieve this without modern surveying equipment? It's likely they use astronomical methods, perhaps tracking the movement of stars to find true north. The level of craftsmanship is visible in every aspect of the structure. The casing stones were cut and fitted together so perfectly that you couldn't even slip a piece of paper between them. This wasn't just about building big. It was about building with perfection. For the ancient Egyptians, this precision was deeply connected to their cosmology and religion. The pyramid was a reflection of the ordered universe, a stable and eternal structure in a world of chaos. It was a physical manifestation of Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and cosmic order. Let's take a step inside, or at least, let's talk about what's inside. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid is more complex than any other pyramid. It has three known chambers. The lowest one, the subterranean chamber, is cut into the bedrock deep beneath the pyramid. Then there's the so-called Queen's Chamber, located in the middle. And finally, the King's Chamber, higher up, which was built entirely of red granite. This is where Khufu's sarcophagus was placed. Above the King's Chamber are 5 relieving chambers designed to distribute the immense weight of the masonry above and prevent the king's final resting place from collapsing. And then there are the mysterious shafts. 2 shafts extend from the King's Chamber and 2 from the Queen's Chamber, pointing towards the sky. For years, they were thought to be for ventilation, but that doesn't make much sense for a sealed tomb. The current belief is that they had a ritualistic purpose, aligned with specific stars or constellations, intended to help the pharaoh's soul ascend to the heavens and join the gods among the imperishable stars. So after all this incredible effort, 20 years of labor, millions of tons of stone, unparalleled engineering, what happened to Khufu's mummy and his treasures? Well, sadly, the pyramid was likely looted in antiquity. By the time modern archaeologists entered the King's Chamber, all they found was an empty, lidless sarcophagus. Grave robbing was common in ancient Egypt, and a tomb as prominent as Khufu's would have been a prime target. Despite the complex passages and attempts to seal it, the lure of gold and treasure was too strong. But the absence of a body doesn't diminish the pyramid's significance. The structure itself is the real treasure. It's a time capsule that tells us so much about the society that built it, their beliefs, their organizational skills, their scientific knowledge, and their sheer ambition. The Great Pyramid of Giza wasn't built in isolation. It was the centerpiece of a vast complex that included smaller pyramids for Khufu's queens, a mortuary temple where offerings were made to the deceased king, a valley temple connected by a long causeway, and numerous mastaba tombs for nobles and high officials who wanted to be buried near their king for eternity. It was a true city of the dead, meticulously planned and built to serve the pharaoh in his afterlife. It's a powerful symbol of a civilization that was obsessed with eternity. Their entire worldview was shaped by the journey after death, and they poured their greatest resources into ensuring that journey was a successful one. So, the next time you see a picture of the Great Pyramid, don't just see a massive triangle of stone. See a monument built for a god-king, Pharaoh Khufu. See the ingenuity of architects like Hemiunu. See the pride and sweat of tens of thousands of skilled Egyptian workers. See a marvel of engineering, a precise astronomical calendar, and a sacred machine designed to launch a soul into the stars. It's a story of human ambition, faith, and a relentless quest for immortality, carved in stone and standing the test of time for over 4.5 millennia. It remains a powerful message from the ancient world, proving that with unity and genius, humanity can achieve the seemingly impossible. What do you find most fascinating about the Great Pyramid? The construction methods, the astronomical alignments, or the mystery of the workers? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading your thoughts. If you enjoyed this journey back to ancient Egypt, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to History with Shahzad. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the past. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.